Today, when the sun goes down, you step outside your home. The streets are still alive. Street lights illuminate the roads. Car headlights cut through the darkness. Shop windows glow. Your phone screen lights up your face. Even at 3 in the morning, the modern world never truly disappears. Hospitals continue working. Factories continue running. Planes continue crossing the sky. We live with a power our ancestors could never have imagined. The ability to make the world continue after the sun disappears. But for most of human history, night was not a time for endless activity. Night was a boundary, a moment when human life slowed down, a moment when darkness took control. Imagine living in a city 300 years ago. The sun has just disappeared below the horizon. Within minutes, the world around you begins to change. The streets become silent. The roads become uncertain. The places you know during the day become unfamiliar. There are no electric lights, no glowing signs, no screens, no simple switch that can push the darkness away. The city does not become peaceful. It becomes unpredictable. A narrow street that feels ordinary during the day can become dangerous at night. A journey that takes 10 minutes in daylight can become a risk after sunset. For thousands of years, darkness was not just the absence of light. Darkness was something humanity had to survive. Today, we rarely think about how much of our lives depend on light. A student can study late into the night. A worker can finish a night shift. A scientist can read, write, and discover long after the sun has gone down. We treat nighttime as extra time, but for most of human history, time belonged to the sun. When daylight disappeared, work stopped. Travel became dangerous. Knowledge became harder to access. Human potential was limited not by imagination, but by darkness itself. And humanity refused to accept that limitation. The first answer was simple. Fire. Fire was the first technology that allowed humans to push back against the night. Around a campfire, people could gather after sunset. They could share stories, prepare tools, protect themselves from the cold. For the first time, humans created a small island of light inside a world of darkness. But fire had limits. It was dangerous, difficult to control, and impossible to use as a practical source of light everywhere. Humanity needed something smaller, something safer, something they could carry. For thousands of years, civilizations experimented with new ways to create light. Animal fat became candles. Plant oils filled ancient lamps. Later, whale oil and kerosene transformed the way people illuminated their homes. For the first time, humans could carry light with them. But light was still not something everyone could freely use. It had a price. Candles burned away. Oil had to be purchased. Lamps needed cleaning and maintenance. For ordinary families, every hour of artificial light cost money. The darkness was slowly pushed back, but it never truly disappeared. Then came another revolution. Before electricity conquered the night, another invention changed the shape of cities. Gas lighting. In the 19th century, cities like London began installing thousands of gas lamps. Streets that had once vanished into darkness after sunset were suddenly visible. People could walk farther. Businesses could stay open longer. Urban life began expanding into the night. For the first time, cities were no longer completely controlled by the setting sun. But gas lighting still had problems. It required fuel. It needed constant maintenance. And it could never fully provide the clean, reliable light that the future would bring. Humanity had taken another step forward, but the final transformation was still coming. The real breakthrough arrived with a force humans could not see, but eventually learned to control. Electricity. Unlike fire, electricity did not need to burn in every room. It could be generated in one place, moved across cities, and delivered wherever light was needed. But the greatest invention was never just the light bulb. It was the system behind it. Power stations, electrical networks, the hidden infrastructure that allowed millions of people to share the same invisible force. For the first time in history, light was no longer something humans carried. Light became something that surrounded them. When electric lights first appeared, they did more than brighten streets. They changed humanity. As relationship with time, a factory worker could finish a shift after sunset and still return home through a city that remained awake. A shop owner could keep the doors open longer. A city could continue moving after darkness arrived. The night was no longer a complete shutdown. It became a new space for human activity. For the first time since the beginning of civilization, humans were no longer forced to live entirely by the rhythm of the sun. Today, electricity has become almost invisible. That is the strange thing about the greatest inventions. The more successful they become, the less we notice them. We flip a switch, and a room fills with light. We connect a device, and it begins to work. We rarely stop to think about the thousands of years of struggle behind that simple action. We often measure civilization through its biggest achievements: skyscrapers, cars, the internet, artificial intelligence. But sometimes, civilization hides inside the smallest objects. A wire, a switch, a glass bulb. Before electricity, humanity spent thousands of years fighting against the night. They used fire candles, oil lamps, gas lights. Each generation pushed the darkness a little further away. Until finally, all of those centuries of experimentation, failure, and discovery were compressed into a single movement of your finger. A switch. So the next time you walk into a dark room and turn on the light, remember this: you are not simply illuminating a room. You are using the result of thousands of years of human struggle, a solution created by generations of people who refused to accept that darkness had to control their lives. The greatest achievement of modern civilization is not that it gave us unlimited power. It is that many of the physical limitations that once controlled human existence no longer control us. This is Savdi before modern life tea. We will see you in the next chapter.